Good morning. Hand today is going to be Jack 10 of spades. We are on the button in this hand. This is hand number 100 of our suited connector series. So we have an early position player raise. We have a call. We choose to call here, which probably isn't a bad call. And the blinds fold. The raise is kind of small. It makes me wonder what's he doing this with, but this player, I have him marked as red. It's a warning. Have to be careful. He is a tight passive player. We've got quite a few hands on him. We've got notes. I've got a note that says he might be turn c-bet honest. So he could c-bet a lot on the flop, but then if he c-bets a turn, he's going to be decent, have decent strength. We've got 3-bet range. We've got called 2-bets. Just a lot of information. We've got limp and call to raise. You can see all of those hands. Like, he's going to play quite a few hands. I mean, it's 20%. But when we look at raise first in stats, here's where you see how tight he is. He rarely raises. 5% from early position, 6% from mid position, 4% for the cutoff, 3% for the button. He is reserving his raises for solid hands. So this is 4.8%. This is probably his open raising range, and it could be different. It could be something like this. Actually, I think that's going to be the one that I use, where he's raising with jacks plus, ace queen plus, ace jack suited, king queen suited. Just 5%. Really tight range here. And he's not really raising large, so it could be that he has one of the unsuited hands. Because I kind of feel like if it was aces or kings, he's going to be raising more, like three big butt, 3 big blinds. Oops. Well, we can see he has kings. That's okay. We'll work through based on the range. So I was just going to come over here and check to see if we had any notes on what he did pre-flop. And we don't. So we're just going to leave it. I was getting ready to say, sometimes they scale the bet. They'll do like 2 if they have like unpaired hands, or if they're worried about being beat with an overcard, overpair. They would do that. If they would go larger, they have like a solid hand and they're trying to get value or try to bully people out of the pot. But we're going to go tight. I think that's going to be a good range for him. Next player, we don't have much on him. 16 hands, that's it. He's playing 25-13, so what I'm going to do is just kind of put together a hand like this. This is 22%. I'm going to assume he raises queens plus ace king, at least for a 3-bet. Suited aces, you've got your broadways. Just, again, I think it's just kind of like a standard call. Now, my calling range looks something like this. 3-bet versus call. So, oops. Button versus EP. Here it is. Button versus EP looks something like this. 3-better call. But that's probably just against a standard EP. I think it might be better if we did EP tight. Where we're really tightening up our calling range here. And here, you can see the difference here. So it's the yellow. Yellow for this one, that's a call. Versus a standard EP. So you can see we're going to be in really good position against this player. So we're going to be playing against a tight player. Jack 10's at the bottom of it's kind of at the weak end of our calling range, but we are in position. We're going to be able to see what he does on every street. So you see a flop, and the flop is great. We see 2 pair with a Jack 10-2 rainbow board. We are going to be continuing this. Villain c-bets, and I kind of expect him to c-bet a lot. He's got 100% when he's in position, 78% when he's out of position, and in a position like this, he's got so many solid hands that I think he's going to be c-betting everything. I think when we get to like ace king and ace queen, that's where it could be a check. given this board. So what we're going to do is I'm going to say 50% of the time he could have some of those hands just as a gut shot. And that gets him up to basically c-betting his entire range of hands. I do think he would c-bet open-ender. I think this would be a situation where with the gut shot, he would c-bet with like these hands. He would c-bet, but then on the turn, if he does not hit that gut shot, he's probably going to check. So we're going to give him that c-bet range. Villain 1 folds, and it's on us. Now, Villain only has 10, 11 big blinds. He's a short stack. Doesn't seem to be a very good player to start the hand, so we can always go back. He started the hand with 18.5 big blinds, and we see players like this all the time. They buy in short, and they play short. So the question is, what do we do? Obviously, my thought is if he has ace king or ace queen, and I raise, he's probably just going to fold. If you have aces, kings, or queens, he's going to be calling here. If he has king, queen, he's going to call. So you've got 6 aces, 6 kings, 6 queens. It's 18. And then you have 4 more king, queen suited hands. So that's 22. 22 combos versus the ace, king, ace, queen. Ace king is 16, ace queen is 16, you got 32. I think it's going to be a little bit more likely that he has ace king, ace queen, but when we take into account that I'm not sure if he's going to c-bet with all of the ace king or ace queen, you could say, well, if 32 is the total number of combos that he has, maybe reduce it down to 16, maybe even 18. So now it makes it a little bit, we'll say it's a coin flip, whether he has ace king, ace queen, or one of these pocket pairs that would call. So our plan here, yeah, we could raise. I think raising is perfectly fine here. I think we could raise. I think if we were playing, 100 big blind stacks, this is a raise. I think this would be a raise with a set. I think it would be raised with 2 pair as well. I think I would probably raise our open enders. Our gut shots, I think we would add, and I think then we would raise like some our vulnerable hands, these pocket pairs, less than second cards, like something. Yeah, I think top pairs with a ace jack, queen jack. And we're probably raising most of our range here. I mean, that gets us to decent raising range, but because villain is so short, I think we could play it as a call, and if he checks the turn, then I think we fire all of our weak hands, everything that's lower. The 9s, 8s, 7, 6s. I think those are going to be great bets. Having this jack 10 isn't that great for like a raise. So as I look at that, I think it gives him more calls. So perhaps sets 2 pair is what we raise, and then let's back off our open ender and gut shot. Maybe that's all that we're gonna raise here, and then we would call these with the intention. It's a gut shot with the intention that if he checks to us, then we're gonna bet basically everything in the red. And we'll have way too many weak hands, but you know what? We're taking advantage. We're trying to play exploitatively. Here, though, I think we could easily just call, see what he does, and hope he has like an aces, kings, or queens hands, because he's going to continue betting anyways. And I think he's probably going to continue betting king, queen too. I don't really think he's going to continue betting ace, king, or ace, queen. So I think in this case, because the player short stack, we're probably okay just to call here. 9 comes out. That's not that great. We were hoping for something like an 8 or lower. You can see he's got less than half pot. Villain bets it now, or he's got a little more than half pot. He shoves. At this point, I don't think he's doing that with the ace king ace queen. I think he could do it maybe with the flush draw. Maybe with the flush draw. Actually, I don't think so. I think a player like this isn't going to be betting those draws again. All of the hands that he would have would be jacks. Yeah, queens and kings would be gut shots or open ender. He would probably bet those. Top pair. I mean, maybe you have the flush draw, the king queen. But he's got the straight there. I just don't think a player like this, if he's playing turn, if he's turn honest, or if I think he's turn honest, he's not betting. I don't think he's betting those draws. I think he's going to probably check call on all of those hands. Gut shot probably doesn't. But the 9 just kind of really screws things up because it gives the queen now an open ender. So I think he's just doing those. And you could see with our 2 pair, we're doing quite well. If he's got a lot of over pairs and he's got possibly a top pair too that he's playing, we're not going to be folding our 2 pair hand here. So against his bet, we're definitely calling with the flush draw, open ender, straight. We're probably not going to call with the gut shot unless the gut shot's part of some other other hand. So I think top pair though, we're probably just going to be folding here. Queen jack, we're calling, but like or ace jack, I think we're probably just going to fold. How he's playing it, it's going to seem weak, but given this player and how tight he is, I think we're probably beat. Same thing with the overpair. I think we're calling with the overpair because we have the open ender. Yeah, we're calling just because we have the open ender, and then we're calling everything else. So if we kind of break it down, you're looking at something like that, but you can see like the overpair also includes like that. So we need 27% equity. I'm not sure if 8s get that. Like the flush draw, like we already have a straight at that point. So I think we're just doing that, and we do call, and 6 runs out, and he had queens. So this is at ACR, and he chose to take his, fraction, whatever part he wanted. But I took it with 2 pair. Again, when a player kind of is this tight, I think you can exclude some of the draws. I don't think these players normally do that. They'll bet the draw on the flop, but then if they don't hit it on the next card, they usually check and go into like check calling mode. And then if they hit it on the river, then this is kind of interesting. So with the queen, if it came like an 8 on the river and we had a deeper stack here, I think these players often then will go for like a check raise instead of leading. So it's just something we pay attention to. This only applies to a player like this, the tight passive. It's I think how it only it's how we work it. So we're going to take a note here. So RFI 2 big blinds, EP2 and EP2 with Queen of Diamonds, Queen of Hearts. He bets half pot, I think. I bets like 2/3, 3/4. Bet 60, he is out of position. He bet 66%. Bet all in, we'll say 60%. And then X. A jack of hearts, 10 of clubs, 2 of spades, 9 of hearts, 6 spades. 9 of hearts will do like parentheses, just to kind of emphasize that this was an all-in move. All right, so how do I think I played? I think I played this okay. Again, we're playing more exploitatively against this player. We have a note that he's turn honest. I don't think he's betting here without, at least a pair and a draw. He had queens. Like all of his hands, it would be ace jack. I think ace jack would do this. Queens would do it. Kings would do it. Aces would do it. King queen's obviously doing it. I don't think ace king's betting it in this case, and that's what makes the 9 tough. So if he checks to me at this point, when I said I was going to be betting, let's see here, all of these unders, these weaker hands, no, not with the 9 coming out. I wouldn't be doing that. Because I think all of the queens start to call now. Whereas like ace queen, I think could have probably folded because it's a gut shot. But I think this is pretty simple. We won the hand. Wish it was deeper. So hopefully you enjoy this hand. If you do, look tomorrow. I'm not sure what direction we're going to go for the analysis. But we'll see. We'll still analyze some hands.